Yes.
Yes.
All right. Should one of you step down from the race and allow a two-person primary, which one of you should do it and why? That's Mr. Simmons who gets it.
Who gets it first?
Mr. Simmons.
Okay, thank you. This question has been circulating around. It's gotten almost to a rumor stage, which I think is unfortunate in a way. Throughout the campaign, Peter and I and his wife Martha, my wife Heidi, have gotten to know each other pretty well. He fought to get onto the ballot. He had to petition his way on the ballot. That wasn't easy to do. He fought to get on. He deserves to be on. As for me, I fought too. I fought at the convention. I didn't win the convention, but I got almost 48% of the vote. After the flips, I was down to 46% of the vote. So 46% of the people that went to the convention want me to be on the ballot and be in this race. So we both have a base of support. And I'm not sure it's fair to those supporters for us to, let's say, flip a coin or do some deal. I just don't think it's fair. So in our discussions of that issue, I think neither one of us are prepared to pull out at this stage of the game. At least I'm not, and maybe Peter can speak for himself. I'm sure.
Well, I actually asked Rob Simmons to drop out. I asked him. He obviously didn't do it. But yeah, I mean, we both want to win this race. I respect Rob's years of military service and in the CIA. He's a patriotic guy, but I just think that this mission requires a different skill set. I think I'm the guy that needs to go to Washington this time. I think I can lead the Republican Party in a way that I don't know that Rob can do it. I think there are a few people out there that actually can do what needs to be done. We are in serious trouble as a nation. And I'm willing, I want to interrupt my career and do something that I think very few people are willing to do at this point. And I think I've got the track record and the skills to pull this off. And one thing, Martha and I, we're not married yet. We're still engaged. We actually were going to be married, but we postponed the wedding because it was coming in the middle of the race. And it was so she said,
I apologize.
So we're putting this election first.
Next question, directed to Mr. Schiff from Ms. Stewart.
Congress recently extended unemployment benefits. Would you have supported that if you were in the Senate, and why?
No, I wouldn't have supported it. I don't like the idea of constantly extending unemployment benefits. I want the unemployed to have jobs, not government checks. The problem is we're turning unemployment into another entitlement. I mean, 2 years. And here in the state of Connecticut, you could get, let's say, $500 on unemployment. Now, I know that people who are unemployed want good jobs, but sometimes you have to take just any job. And if someone is on unemployment, they're not going to take a job that doesn't pay $500 a week. In fact, they'll probably turn down jobs that pay $600 or $700 a week, because after taxes, you're better off on unemployment. Plus, the weather's nice outside. There's a lot of cost to get back and forth to work. I don't want to create an entitlement society. I want the unemployed to have jobs. And the problem is the deficits that we're creating to fund these unemployment benefits are destroying jobs. And so the longer we deprive our economy of capital to keep funding government programs, we're going to have fewer jobs. And if we keep people on permanent unemployment, they're not going to work. In fact, I talked to a gentleman yesterday, or a couple days ago, who had a small business. He's having a hard time hiring people because the only people who will take a job are people who will work under the table, because they want to get paid cash because they don't want to give up their unemployment benefits.
Mr. Simmons?
I would have voted no. And I say that knowing that in the past and on occasion I have voted to extend unemployment benefits under certain conditions. But I think you have to look at the specific conditions and you have to look at the extent of the unemployment. We have been extending unemployment benefits now for a very substantial period of time. I don't know the exact data, but my guess is we've extended some of these benefits longer than at any other time in recent history. At the same time that we're extending these benefits, the Department of Labor says there are over 2 million jobs available in the United States of America, and they're posted enlisted, and that's the Department of Labor. So what happens is if you get laid off from a certain kind of a job, and you go on unemployment to receive your benefits, you're required to go out and seek that equivalent job. but there's really no incentive to seek a job that is somewhat below what you had before. And as a consequence of that, people really have an incentive to stay with the benefit. Yes, perform the task of seeking employment, but not seeking employment at any level, seeking reemployment at a level that they previously served. So at a time when the economy is in deep distress, at a time when we're spending more than we've ever spent in our history, at a time when the deficits are larger, I think, as a percentage of gross national product than any time since World War II, to be extending unemployment benefits for a year and a half, or 2 years, I think is counterproductive.
Thank you. Next question will come from Ms. Stewart, directed to Mr. Simmons.
The BP oil spill has brought Congress's attention back to energy policy in the United States. Mr. Simmons, you had supported a version of cap and trade when you were in the U.S. House. Senator Lieberman has a bill out there right now that calls for some version of cap and trade. Should America be moving to cleaner sources of energy and taxing dirty ones?
America should be moving towards cleaner sources of energy, and here in the state of Connecticut, we have one of the best clean sources of energy there is. It's called nuclear power. The Connecticut Yankee commercial power plant that was built along the Connecticut River over 40 years ago, I believe, I'm told, was the third commercial plant built in America. It had 37 years of productive and safe service, and then was decommissioned. At Millstone, we have Millstone 1, 2, and 3, and 2 of those reactors provide 50% of the electrical energy that we consume here in the state of Connecticut. I used to tell my colleagues in the Congress, in my district, the 2nd Congressional District, we have 22 nuclear power plants. And they would always look at me surprised and say, wow, that's an awful lot. We never knew there were that many in one district. I said, well, I've got 4 commercial power plants and 18 submarines. But think about this. We're the submarine capital of the world. We invented the nuclear navy here in Connecticut, southeastern Connecticut. Admiral Rickover, the submarine fleet, 1954, the Nautilus. We have refined and developed this technology as no other state in the Union. We have Westinghouse up here at Bradley Airport that designs and builds the AP-1000 nuclear power plant. We've got General Electric. And yet we are ignoring this source of energy, which is clean and safe. I know this is a bit much on nuclear because I support other sorts of power. But I think it's critically important that we deal with the issue of clean air and emissions by going to the technology that we know best.
And Mr. Schiff?
Cap and trade.
What's the question again?
On energy. It was on cap and trade.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm against cap and trade. I mean, it's cap and tax is what it is. The science that it's based on is faulty. It's not going to reduce the emissions, and it's just going to raise the cost of energy at a point in time where we need lower energy costs. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I mean, I don't want the government trying to set the energy policy for our country. I want the market doing that. In fact, one of the departments I want to abolish, along with many others, is the Department of Energy. In fact, the Department of Energy, to show you how efficient the government is, the Department of Energy wasn't even created until 1979. So, we made it to 1979 without a Department of Energy, but it was created by Jimmy Carter, and it was created specifically to reduce our dependence on foreign oil. And at the time we created it, we imported less than 40% of our oil. Now we import more than 70% of our oil. So it's practically doubled. Obviously, the agency is a complete failure. We should abolish it, not expand it, which is what's happening now. And I think, what happened with BP, unfortunately, we've compounded that problem because now we have a moratorium. We're drilling less oil, and, the price is going to go through the roof. I mean, look at the demand that's exploding. In fact, for the last 100 years, the United States was the world's largest consumer of energy. For 100 years, and now it's not America, now it's China. And this is a dramatic turn, and it shows you that our standard of living on a relative basis is declining.
Moderator, I have about 10, 20 seconds of rebuttal time. The issue of cap and trade, Mrs. McMahon, who's not here tonight, has put out very expensive flyers and brochures saying that I support cap and trade. That is simply not true. For the last 2 years, my position on cap and trade has been very clear. I'm opposed to it. I will vote against it. I'm not in support of it. That's my published position. It's unfortunate that a co-sponsorship of a bill 6 or 7 years ago, a co-sponsorship of a bill has been used to spread that misinformation around. I think it's important for everybody to know that Rob Simmons does not support cap and trade.